thinking about working in Kuwait, or maybe you're already there.
Mm-hmm.
Look, understanding your basic rights,
Yeah.
it might not sound super exciting, but honestly,
Well, yeah.
knowing this stuff right from the start,
Right.
it can really, really help you out. Avoid headaches later on, you know.
Absolutely. And that's what this deep dive is all about. We're getting into those core protections for private sector workers in Kuwait.
Okay.
We've gone through Kuwait's labor law, number 6 of 2010. Specifically, the text provided kido-i do-i to pull out the absolute essentials for you.
Just like a shortcut.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A direct route to knowing what's what, making sure you're informed and, well, protected.
Okay, let's unpack this then. Where do we start? I guess the contract itself.
Yeah. Good place to start, the employment contract.
It seems obvious, maybe, but the law actually says it has to be written down, right? No verbal agreements.
That's right. It's got to be documented, a written contract. Those informal agreements just won't hold up legally there.
And it's not just any piece of paper. There are key things that must be in it.
Yes, definitely. It needs to clearly state your salary, for one,
Okay.
your working hours, what your actual job duties are, and if you're starting out, any details about a probation period. All that needs to be spelled out.
And the language, that's a big one, isn't it?
No, absolutely crucial. The law is very clear. The contract must be in Arabic.
Even if you get an English version.
You might well get a translated version, for your own understanding, but if there's ever a dispute, any disagreement,
It's the Arabic one that counts.
it's the Arabic version that's legally binding. That's Article 28. So yeah, even with a translation, understanding that official Arabic text is, well, vital.
Okay, good to know. Right, moving on. What about the daily grind, working hours,
Right, the rhythm of the workday. So generally the law sets a maximum,
which is,
8 hours per day and 48 hours per week. That's laid out in Article 64.
okay, 8 and 48. But is that always rigid, like
Mm.
other exceptions?
There can be, yes. The law does allow for flexibility if your specific contract says something different, or maybe the company's own internal rules have other arrangements.
So you need to check your own paperwork on that.
Exactly. It pays to check the details for your specific situation, and importantly, even within those hours, you're entitled to rest breaks during the day. That's also covered.
Right, breaks are important.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what about the reason we're all there? Wages.
Ah, yes, compensation. Article 56 makes it clear. You have the right to be paid for the work you do.
Whether it's monthly, weekly.
Yeah, whatever's agreed monthly, weekly, even daily sometimes. The key thing the law stresses is timely payment. You should get paid when you're supposed to.
And what if? What if you don't? If the pay is late?
Well, that's not just annoying, is it? It's actually a point where you have a legal standing.
Okay.
The law gives you the right to file an official complaint. You can go to the Ministry of Labor Affairs if your salary is being delayed.
That's a really powerful protection to know about.
It really is. Definitely something to keep in mind.
Okay, so wages covered. What about time off? Annual leave?
Yes, everyone looks forward to that. So after you've put in 9 months of service,
9 months. Okay.
you are entitled to 30 days of paid annual leave. That's Article 70.
30 days paid. That's quite generous. And does that include public holidays? Or are they separate?
Good question. They are separate. Public holidays are in addition to your 30 days annual leave.
Excellent. So you don't lose out.
No. And another key point here. Let's say you don't take all your leave days.
Yeah.
You don't just lose them. You're actually entitled to get cash compensation for any unused annual leave days.
Oh, interesting. So you can get paid out for them.
Exactly. Now, linked to time off, what if you're sick?
Right. Sick leave. What does the law say there? Article 69 you mentioned?
That's the one, Article 69. It sets out a pretty structured system for a paid sick leave.
Okay, how does that work? Is it complex?
It's sort of tiered. Let's break it down. First, you can get up to 15 days of sick leave on full pay.
15 days, full pay. Got it.
Then, if you need more time, the next 10 days are paid at 75% of your usual salary.
Okay, 75%.
After that, another 10 days are at half pay, so 50%.
Right.
Followed by another 10 days at 25% pay.
Still getting something at least.
Exactly. And then, beyond that, there's provision for up to 30 more days, but those would be unpaid sick leave.
So, quite a comprehensive structure, really. Starts full, then tapers down.
Precisely. It offers a good amount of support initially.
Okay. Now, let's think about the other end of employment. When you leave a job. End of service benefits. Indemnity.
Yes, the end of service indemnity. That's covered in Article 51. It details your entitlement to this financial benefit when you leave.
Okay, so how How do they figure that out? What's the calculation?
Right, the calculation. Well, for each of your first 5 years working for the
So
company,
the first 5, yeah.
you get the equivalent of 15 days pay for each of those years.
Okay, 15 days pay per year for the first 5.
Correct. Then, for every year you work after those initial 5 years,
It changes.
it increases. It goes up to 1 full month's pay for each additional year.
A full month. Okay. And that's based on
It's based on your last salary, the salary you were receiving right before you left.
your final salary. That makes sense. Is there a minimum time you need to work there to get this?
Yes, there is. You need to have completed at least 1 full year of service with that employer to be eligible for the indemnity.
1 year minimum.
It's seen as, recognition for your service and commitment.
Right. Okay, now, a tricky subject. What about getting fired? Termination. Does the law protect you from being let go unfairly?
It does. There's a really important principle here. Employers can't just terminate someone without a valid reason, a legitimate cause.
So no firing on a whim.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And if an employee is dismissed unfairly, unjustly, they have the right to seek compensation for that.
Compensation for unfair dismissal. And is it clear what counts as fair or unfair?
Well, Article 48 specifically deals with this. It outlines what are considered valid grounds for termination and what aren't.
Article 48.
Yeah. We don't need to list every single reason now, but the key thing is that the law does make that distinction. It differentiates between legitimate reasons and, well, unjust termination.
Okay, that's really important protection. So let's maybe recap the main points we've hit.
Good idea.
We've talked about needing that written Arabic contract with all the key details, salary, hours, duties.
The working hour limit's usually 8 hours a day, 48 a week, but check your contract. Plus, rest breaks.
Right. And the absolute right to get paid on time, and knowing you can complain to the ministry if you don't.
Definitely. Then there's the annual leave, 30 paid days after 9 months, plus public holidays, and you can get paid for unused days.
And that structured sick leave system, starting with full pay.
Yes. And the end of service indemnity calculation, 15 days pay per year for the first 5, then a month's pay per year after that, based on your final salary after 1 year's service.
And finally, that crucial protection against being fired without a proper, valid reason, with recourse if it happens unfairly.
Exactly. It covers quite a lot of ground.
It really does. And I think, understanding these things isn't just about defense, is it? It's about creating a better workplace.
Absolutely. It helps everyone, employees and employers, know where they stand. It fosters a fairer environment and hopefully avoids legal problems down the line.
Yeah, transparency helps everyone. So for you listening, whether you're thinking about Kuwait or you're already navigating the job market there, this knowledge isn't just nice to have.
No, it's pretty crucial. It empowers you to advocate for yourself, to understand your position.
Which actually brings up a good question to think about. If you, listening right now, felt your rights were being ignored or violated, what would you actually do? What steps would you take?
That's a powerful thought. Thinking about that proactively before anything happens can make a real difference.
Definitely something to consider. And just to mention, we'll be digging deeper into some related topics in future deep dives.
Right. Things like digging into what exactly constitutes unlawful termination, the specific procedures for dealing with salary delays, that kind of thing.
So definitely stay tuned for those. Our aim here really is just to make this legal stuff, well, a bit less intimidating.
Make it clear, make it accessible. That's the goal.